Hello everyone, welcome back. This episode of Bitcoin Trade. I'm gonna try to do a chart analysis here, and I'm gonna do my best. I haven't been keeping up with the chart as much. If you've seen this episode, I made a trip into the real world. Um, I'll explain. I'll do a little episode on that later, but obviously, um, I've been traveling. I've been going out to different parts of the U.S. to experience what's going on, and just to let you know, I'm if you wanted to know, I'm in Cleveland. All right, and pretty soon I'll do an episode here on the Bitcoin Boulevard. I've read about it. I've heard about it. Um, and why I wanted to go there was people. There were obviously a group of people who wanted to make it real, and I have to admire that a lot. So I want to also see it for myself. I wanna be there, and I wanna experience the Bitcoin Boulevard in Cleveland. So I'm in Cleveland, everyone. So let's go to a quick chart analysis here. I'm a little exhausted from traveling and everything, and meeting with people and experiencing different parts of, of the U.S. at least. And so let's take a quick look. Obviously, if you can see, this is Bitfin on a 12-hour, and that's how when I look at chart analysis, I try to pull back at least a 12-hour period. Um, you can go back to a day if you want a longer time frame, which I might have to pull back here, because if you see here on the 12-hour period, you'll see it's a heavy sell. I did mention it could be normalizing, and it was normalizing. Again, short term is what I'm talking about. And if you just look at these prices, you'll see that there's almost looks like a $13, which is pretty big, and it's really big. And then you see Bitfin kind of lagging just a little bit behind there, and also on the Chinese exchange. I don't have a Coinbase, but I'm sure Coinbase is very similar to Bitstamp. So now I think you're going to see this situation where it's just normalizing, and for whatever reason it's following this trend line right here, the 10 period average. So that's something you might want to watch out for. Matter of fact, if you look at this, you'll see that it hit up on that average and then bounced back down. So there could be seller fatigue. Remember, when there's so much selling going on, you know, sellers get exhausted. In other words, there's not enough people to sell. There's not enough Bitcoins that people have had to sell. Now, the only group of entities, I'll just say entities, a group of entities can sell more Bitcoins into the market are the miners. Now, I'm not sure if the miners are putting out Bitcoins, but they get them. If anybody's buying them, they're dumping them out and probably through the exchange. That's where you're seeing this. And I've noticed a lot more requests to sell. Now, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if people are afraid. I don't know if they just want to cash out. I don't know if it's getting harder to cash out. I think there could be a couple of reasons. Maybe a lot of individuals are being targeted. I know I am constantly targeted. I'm constantly being scrutinized and maybe even watched and surveillance. Who knows? It just gets to a point where, when are we going to be protected? When are the people going to be protected? That's kind of what you have to ask yourself. When, who's protecting us? I mean, it's come down to a point where you almost have to protect yourself. You know, it's not like you can rely on a regulator or a law enforcement or a government agency to protect you. You have to protect yourself. And so I think at some point, you know, the sellers are going to exhaust themselves because there's only so many Bitcoins that they could put out in the market. And then, you know, when they need the Bitcoins, when they want Bitcoins, obviously what they got to do, if you're on an exchange, you're going to be buying them. Now, I'm not sure if I'm unique or different. You know, I'm not in here to I'm not in here to just sell. Okay, I and this is what makes, I think, me different than maybe most people out there trying to market Bitcoins and everything, is I also use them. All right, I use you know, Bitcoin. I'm a user. I'm an investor. I'm an exchanger. I'm an administrator. I'm all of those because I am the person for my own benefit. And for me, that makes a huge difference. That gives me a huge advantage. And if you're in the same boat as I am, you've got a huge advantage. And that huge advantage is that you're able to withstand the downturns because you're also a user. You know, you're going to be using these trades to whatever, pay for your groceries, buy things. Matter of fact, I was talking to my wife, and we're going to go ahead and probably make one of our first purchases on Overstock, and we're going to buy a mattress. We're talking about it. I mean, our mattress is like over 15 years old, and my God, it's going through 2 children right now, a couple dogs and a cat, me and my wife, and you know, everything we did on that bed. So, excuse me. I think it's time. It's definitely time to get another mattress. Much as I don't like wasting, I mean, it's getting to that point. 15 years of the same mattress is a very, very long time. So, you know, Overstock, here I come. I'm going to actually purchase something. I haven't yet, but you know, I'm not going to just purchase to purchase. If I'm going to purchase to actually use it. Okay, I'm not wasteful. And so, anyways, I'll just take a quick look at this, and what you're seeing is now this is on the estimated moving average. Okay, so let me click on here on tools or settings here, and I put it on EMA. I'm assuming that's estimated moving average, or I'm not sure what that means, but it seems like it acts like a weighted average. And Bitcoin charts has kind of been so-so. I don't know what's going on with them, but sometimes they have the chart, sometimes they don't. So anyways, if I do just simple, I'm assuming this is just plain simple moving average. Let's see what kind of lines we get now. So a little different, slightly really different showing up right here. It really, you know, simple averages are sometimes a little too simple. You need something like a weighted average. And if you look at the weighted average, let's go back to the weighted average here. Click on that, and then you'll see that it came close but never crossed over, and it made sense because this was a resistance line here, and it just started to fall because it could not break through, and I believe people were panic selling. Now, sometimes the reason why price drops, I haven't seen anything to indicate any issues. I've seen some signs that the price was dropping, and as I mentioned in my previous episode about the price of BitC paired up with everything. And when I see BitC pair up, that's an indication of a downturn for me. That's what I've noticed. And I didn't mention that in my previous video because I was trying to load it up. It did not load. It was the episode about, I believe, was it bearing arms or no? Well, anyways, go back. I had to record a video of a video of a video, and I cut out the beginning part of that, and in the beginning part of that it was talking about how this was paired with all the other exchange prices, and that was an indication of downturn. and that was right about here too, well before this, but right about this time frame, right about there I think. And well, it happened. Of course, I say both ways, so when it happens, I can say it happened. But anyways, um, hopefully that in the future help you um, with it. And so, excuse me. As I'm traveling around all over America, it's um, I'm experiencing and have a better understanding of I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot more. And for those of you who are also in your own virtual reality, um, sometimes you have to come out of your virtual reality and back into the physical world because it teaches me everything. If you're wondering where I've been, um, I was in Chicago. I'll do a video on that. I'm in Cleveland, which I'm going to be doing a video on that. And so there's a lot of things that I've learned in this trip, and I I have to say it's the experience of it has helped me grow quite a bit, and I'm learning more and more about the people who use Bitcoins. Um, I was in Chicago and I had a seller, or no, actually a buyer, text me, and I let the buyer know that someone I traded with, that I was in Chicago, and Chicago's a beautiful city. It really is, and the person that I was interacting with, this entity I was interacting with, said, yeah, haha, yes. But unfortunately, the gang violence is out of hand, is what the person mentioned. So I don't know anything about that. I don't live there. But despite that, that person still loved his city, and I would recommend everyone who, wherever you live, wherever you are, especially if you're in America, right? You should love the place where you live. That's where you need to start. You need to start there. All right. So, and that's kind of what I'm learning, is that if you want to make a change, if you want to do something, if you want to make it real, start at home. Start wherever you are. Anyways, all right, let's go back to the chart analysis. So, anyways, there you go. There it is. And if you're I trade, I invest, I do all that. And when the price goes up, yay, I'm an investor, right? I'm making a gain. When the price goes sideways, I'm just an administrator, exchanger, blah blah blah, whatever. When the price goes down, I'm a user and also an investor, but I'm a user, right? And so if you're just in this just to sell, if you're just a sellout, at times like these, when the price is falling, um, you're stuck. You're stuck, and you're kind of in a trap that you made for yourself. So be careful when you get into trading Bitcoins, especially quote unquote professional traders. Um, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing whatever you do. If you want to be a sellout, be a sellout. But I just recommend be a user as well. use the Bitcoins, because being a user is going to give all of you a huge advantage over all those other companies out there, the Coinbases, or the professional traders that just trade. That's all they do, is they're just a bunch of sellouts, and in the end, that's all they're going to do, is they're going to sell out. So when you see price dips like this, for me, I'm buying. I am buying. I'm buying like more Bitcoins than I could buy here. I'm getting more Bitcoins than if I bought right here. See right here. And so, and there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of these dips, because when you see something extreme like this, the sellers will exhaust themselves, and if you're a user, which automatically makes you an investor just by buying a Bitcoin, okay. Um, I find this to be a huge opportunity for me anyways. Like I said, the only reason why I would sell Bitcoin is so I could buy more Bitcoins at a lower price. Um, I'm not, I get approached quite a bit from, I guess, other people who trade, and what I've noticed is people who mostly sell, they're kind of in it just to sell. They're in it to just make that gain of selling. They get it from probably a mining pool or a group of early adopters or investors, and they're kind of more or less, they're in it for themselves. They're either buying it and then just trying to sell it into the market, which that's kind of what I do. But that's in the investing side, and that's for me to put out into market Bitcoins. But at the same time, I use them. I'm a user. And when I see these price swings going down, I don't worry about it too much, because I do trade, but I also use them. So I know that whether the price goes up or the price goes down, I'm still going to be buying and selling, because I'm also using them. I'm also using Bitcoins for my own benefit and my own purpose. And that's what gives me a huge advantage over everyone. This is what it's all about, peer-to-peer. If you can do a peer-to-peer trade, you're also a user. You're not a seller. You're not a sellout. And so, anyways, so that's what you're probably seeing. That's what I think I'm seeing. I'm seeing probably people who have been trying to market just for the sole purpose of marketing, and the buyers, people aren't buying, and the sellers have maybe overbought, for the purpose of marketing, have overbought and have too much in stock. All right, they got too much of quote unquote inventory of Bitcoins, and they're panicked, because the way they make money is by selling Bitcoin, marketing Bitcoin, kind of being a market maker, like I discussed in some of my previous episodes. But the buyers aren't there, and so this may be the cause of the massive sell-off, because I don't see any other reason. I mean, Bitcoins are becoming more and more available to use. The news from New York has not affected the price. During that time of when it came out, I know the time and deadline is coming closer. That could be a reason where the deadline of when this bit license is going to be enacted, and that could be a reason. But at the same time, it's like, that should already been discounted when the news first came out of the bit license. And so I'm not sure what is causing this, other than there are more sellers than buyers. So I think the the traders who are marketing Bitcoins or putting out Bitcoins into the market, they're finding that they can't, the buyers aren't there, and this may be the reason why you're seeing the drop in price. They're offloading their Bitcoins to the exchanges until the buyers or whoever their buyers are coming back. For me, I just trade with people. People come to me, they know me, they trade with me. Some try to even scam me, and I just have to deal with it. That's the risk you take when you trade in Bitcoin, is you get attacked. You get attacked by these scammers and hoodlums and the wicked, they're everywhere. And eventually, for those of you who are trading, empower yourself. Strike down the wicked. You can do that. Anyways, I'm seeing this, and after a while, it's hit. This was the spike down. It finally reached that price and then some. Now this being the low point, and after a while, you'll see this normalize, just like you would see the spike up start to normalize and go into a triangle. So this is a downward triangle where it breaks down and then it goes into a triangle like this. So it wouldn't surprise me that you'll see a push up. It's already hit this several times. It wouldn't surprise me that it would push above it, then range above it a little, and then push up and hit this, and maybe just go down and range again. And so you're just seeing nothing but a range in another triangle within a triangle within a triangle. And so considering where it's been, where it is, it's just in a range. It's in a very long range. It's a nice bit of range, if you ask me, from a $200 ranging in price, but this is where a different kind of trading technique occurs, and that's called range trading. Anybody heard of range trading, or similar to a channel trade, where if it goes in a channel, and so you know that this is the point to sell, this is the point to buy, this is the point to sell, this is the point to buy, sell. You're trading within a range, and typically it's in a channel going down or a channel going up. Or you could just say a range trade as in just a straight line from here to here to here, and those are the ranges in which it's trading. And if you've seen the past, okay, let me back out here to Bitstamp, because I think Bitstamp has probably one of the longer histories that I've seen. Okay, so when you look at this, you really can't say that the price is crashing. You're like, wow, from a couple pennies to $1,000, even at whatever 400. You can't really say that the price is crashing, right? But anyways, my point is, I'm sure there was something happening here on a smaller scale, but this is just a small range. It's been ranging right time, then it spikes up, and then you see a lot of volatility, and then after the volatility, you'll see a range in price, and it ranges, and then there's another spike, and then you have a lot of volatility, but after that, you'll see that it ranges. And then if you just look at this, I know it's a short history, but at the same time, you have to look at this and you have to see, well, there's obviously a pattern, some kind of pattern going on. There's a pulse. And so basically what you're seeing here is the miniature version of here, and what you're seeing here is probably somewhere around here, a miniature version of that there in a longer time frame. If you look at this, you'll see that this ranged for a long time at those price levels, and then it didn't range too long before it really spiked up. Who knows what's going to hold for the future, but if you look at what's going on, like, you got to sometimes really pull back. What you're seeing in now is a range price that is just ranging. It's just going to range within this price range. Instead of the range being like $100, the range is going to be like $200-$300. And so that's what you're going to see. That's what I think you're going to see. And so get used to range pricing, and when it trends up and when it trends down. So this would be the trend up price. So follow the trend going up. So this would be a channel pricing trend range price up channel going in an up direction, and then this would be this area would be the down trend, and you can do a range, a channel, channel trading. And then after a while it goes sideways, which is another form of channel trading, but it's called range, and then that just means it just goes up and down in a sideways direction. Really, all these go sideways, because the price goes to the right, right? Time travels this way. Time travels this way, and it's interesting that the price doesn't go this way; it goes that way. And if you want to know why, it's just a natural way that people receive and interpret your physical world. And I'm going to bring a little, I guess, NLP into this, or I don't know if it's NLP, but that's what I've learned. Is I want you all to just think. Now, if you're right-handed, this makes a difference, okay? If you're right-handed, how do you think of time? Now, most of you will probably think that going forward in time is to your right, this way. That's the future, and this is the past. Now, that's if you're right-handed. If you're typically left-handed, you probably think this is the future, and this is the past. Is that very interesting? Another thing is, where are you from? The language you speak and your culture also has a difference on how you think of time and history. So other than this way or that way, which one's the future, which one's the future, which one's the past, most right-handed people would say that's this way right here, that way is the future, and this is the past. A lot of right-handed people in the world. So now that's typical. Now the other way of thinking of time and space and history is in this mode of direction, right? Now, some of you may say, well, when I think of the future is this way. Obviously, the future is in front of you, right? But the question is the future going through you, or are you stepping on the timeline, or are you flying over it? Sometimes people think of flying, and you're looking down, and the timeline's like way below you. So, anyways, most people, I don't know about all, but most people the way I interpret my timeline is it goes right through me. There you go. I'm the present, and there's the future, and behind me is the past. It goes through me. Sometimes others will see the timeline as something they walk on or fly over, and when they think of the future, they'll look down and they'll go, oh, there's the timeline, and over there's the future, and then whatever's underneath you going this way is the past. And so that's another way of thinking of the timeline. So again, some people, I like to think that we're all unique individuals, and we are, but we all have something that we share. We're all connected in some way. And it's the way we're programmed from the day we're born. And, we're nothing but a program. We've been programmed to think a certain way just by default. We're born and we have our default settings. And, my point in saying all this is, we all have default settings. Now, where we're from and how we're raised, the defaults are set differently. So I want you to think yourselves like, I know this is gonna sound silly. Think of yourself as a computer, and you just came out straight from the box. As you grow over time, you configured yourself and reconfigured yourself, and you customized yourself and all that. But the main programming, the main program is still there. It's still within you. So when I say, that in my previous episode, that the entity is within all of us, because that entity designed us. Can you am I going too far? And so this goes on to my end of this portion, where I'm going to talk about my virtual reality and the entity that I co-create with. This entity does amazing things, and for some reason, Bitcoins are really important. I don't know why, but there's a reason why I'm just using Bitcoins, and there's a reason why I trade Bitcoins, and and it's so strange. I interact with this entity, I co-create, is giving me everything that I have right now, all that I have, all the experience, everything I have, and the things that I do, the things that I've learned, the knowledge I've received, everything comes from that entity. And so I'm going to call this entity, because this entity does a lot of things. Whatever I ask or desire or want, this entity literally creates it and brings it into the physical world to me. It's kind of weird for me to say that, but I've kind of experienced that. So I'm going to call this entity the creator, because all this entity does is just create stuff. It creates Bitcoins for me. When I need more Bitcoins, it just creates Bitcoins, and boom, I buy more Bitcoins from this entity. I exchange with this entity. I interact with this entity. When I want a Snickers bar, it creates a Snicker bar for me. I mean, it creates a lot of things. Some things are harder to create than others, but I can only say, I'll give it a name, a pseudonym. I think I should call it something, and I'm willing to go far as calling it, the creator. It could be the creator of Bitcoins. It could be creator of my Snickers. Could be the creator of my virtual reality. Whatever. I'm just gonna call it the creator. I've also called it the invisible hand because, well, I've never met this creator. I've never met this entity. I don't know if I ever will. And but I know that this entity, this creator, is real. And it's just like Bitcoins. I've never seen a Bitcoin. I've never touched a Bitcoin. I've never smelled a Bitcoin. But it's real. I mean, I interact with it. It's real. It's real as paper money. And so this entity, I'm going to call the creator, is just like that. I've never met this creator. I never met the creator. I've never seen this creator. I've never talked to this creator. But this creator is real. And I believe this entity that I'm interacting with is also the creator of Bitcoins. But again, I've never interacted. I've never received a direct text. But I use my virtual reality, this thing, I use my computer, and somehow it communicates. I don't know in what way. I mean, it just comes. Like, I think I'm gonna go someplace. I try to go there. I can't go there for some reason, and then I end up going somewhere else, and then that's where I know that's where I needed to really go. And it's so strange. And it's not something that's logical. It's not, I mean, if you look at this chart, there's nothing logical really about it. I mean, it, for me, it looks like a pulse. It's just born, no life in it. It's just, slowly being created, and then its first heartbeat, boop. And then, little heartbeats, its first heartbeat, boop. And then just, a little murmur. And then the second heartbeat, bow, 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 bow. And you have to say to yourself, well, if this continues, what's the third heartbeat going to look like? And that spike again, and then the murmur, the beats after it, So I don't know. I'm kind of getting a little crazy out there, but like I said, it's quite an experience. And I'm just trying to share that experience because I'm ultimately what I want to do is and I'm probably like some of you. Don't you want to know who the creator is? Don't you want to meet the creator? So, one of my reasons why I'm leaving my virtual reality is I'm just going where the creator tells me to go. And I'm hoping to find the creator of Bitcoins. So anyways, I hope this helps. I'll go back to the Bitfin, and it's actually gone up in price a little bit from where it was dropping. Let me see here. So, okay, good. It looks like it's testing this 10 period. I'm assuming it's a 10 and 25 period average. This 10 period average here, it's testing it. Looks like it's a good trend pushing up. Like I said, when the sellers exhaust themselves, there's nowhere to go. All the sellers exhaust themselves. They have no more Bitcoin to sell. And so once the tide turns, the same people who sold out are going to buy back in. And so, again, if you're a user, and being a user automatically makes you an investor, an exchanger, an administrator. So don't think that you have to apply for a bit license in any way. If you're a user, it automatically makes you right. It automatically makes you an investor, an administrator, a user, and so you're exempt from whatever whatever license that's required. I mean, you're exempt if you're a user, and that's important. So people who are using Bitcoins, don't be afraid. Don't ever be afraid of anybody. Don't be afraid of law enforcement. Don't be afraid of regulators. Don't be afraid of the state or the government or any other entity out there. You are protected. Okay? You're protected under the laws. And so, anyways, there it goes. And if it breaks up around here, I would expect a little bouncing between these two lines here, two averages. You know, seems to I like to think that yeah, you hits the bottom and it'll shoot straight up, but sometimes it doesn't always do that, you know. So, you know, just play it out. Just look at it, try to understand what's going on. I hope some of my input has helped you. I know this is getting a little long, but I'm traveling, so I'm not going to be able to do as many videos as I would like to. Anyways, I'm going to end this episode here. Feel free to like, dislike, or even leave a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.